Hey Suzanne, how are you?
Hi, Jorge. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. As I was saying, I was looking out my window. I thought it was snowing, and then I realized it's just flowers coming off of like a dogwood or cherry blossom around the corner. So I guess it's officially spring, is what I was going to say. And with spring, it means it's Celebrate Trails Day time. And everyone that's listening to this webinar, this is Suzanne, excuse me, Matyas. And if you want to introduce yourself before we get started a little bit.
Absolutely. And kudos on the pronunciation because I know my last name is a tough one. Hi, everyone. My name is Suzanne Matyas. I'm Rails to Trails Conservancy social media and engagement strategist. I'm so excited to be joining the Trailblazers today to talk a little bit about Celebrate Trails Day, which, as Jorge mentioned or not alluded to, it is our springtime celebration for America's trails. And although it is raining petals in Philadelphia, where Jorge is, I do want to acknowledge that spring looks like a ton of different things depending on where you are in the country. It might be snow, it might be 70 and sunny. At the end of the day, it's spring, and we hope everybody gets outside to enjoy trails if it's been a little while or first time, or you know what, it's only been a day since they've done it. That's ultimately what this celebration is about, getting outside to enjoy America's trails.
Yeah, I was going to say the last time I was in Cleveland in April, it was snowing. So yeah, April looks different all over the country.
It sure does.
And just a reminder, if anyone has questions for me or Suzanne, you can pop them in the chat and we'll try to address them as we go. But without further ado, if you want to go to your first slide there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, you should be able to see my screen. Jorge, you can give me a holler if you can't. But as I mentioned, today we're talking about Celebrate Trails Day.
I don't think I'm seeing your screen, sorry.
Not yet? Excellent. We're off to a good start then. I was telling Jorge before we kicked off too that there's a chance that you will hear a dog barking at some point in this presentation as well. But I think you can see it now.
Yep, you're good to go.
All right. So I introduced myself a little bit already, but I did want to back up and start with what I do at Rails to Trails Conservancy. You see social media in the title, you think of what is she doing necessarily with this outdoor celebration? So my goal, or what I'm really focused on at Rails to Trails Conservancy, is encouraging engagement with the organization. And that can be done on social media, really. It's about getting people involved with us digitally and online, ultimately inspiring them to get outside, but forming those connections with people we might not be able to talk to on a day-to-day basis across the country. And also, I help shepherd and support online in-person engagement campaigns, such as Celebrate Trails Day. So at the end of the day, my job is really about bringing people together and helping them connect with Rails to Trails Conservancy and our mission. All right.
See a Trailblazer tour photo. I think that's Missouri.
Yeah. I do. Yes, good. It's 2018. So, you know, I was talking a little bit about engagement, getting people on board and online and chatting about trails and feeling connected. It really is just about connecting with people and building that community. And, you know, some people have different feelings on social media, but at the end of the day, we're really using it to form those connections, to help bring more people to the table, to help get them excited about trails and the work that we're doing, help connect them with resources and fun things that they can do to feel welcome and to help experience these fantastic places, which hopefully everybody on this call knows and loves. And right now, you know, we have our community on social of 214,000 plus, and then that all contributes to our large, wonderful base of grassroots supporters.
Is that 214,000 across all the different platforms?
That's correct. That is 2014 for the Rails to Trails handle. You'll see that's our main page right there. So you'll find us on YouTube, which is this one, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. We're at Rails to Trails or Rails to Trails Conservancy. You can just type it in for all of them. If you all aren't already connected with us on social media, we hope you'll do so. You'll get me responding back to you and engaging with you if you do go ahead and do that. it's just another great place to connect with RTC and what we're doing. All right, so why is engagement important? A lot of the time, myself included, exposure to something is super important to building any type of affinity. And it's the same thought process really for what we're doing with engagement. We start with, it says trail user here, but I actually say it starts with any person really, helping them be exposed to or get access to or feel welcome on trails. And after that, we love trails. We find it hard to believe that other people didn't love these spaces just to get outside or walk around or do whatever they want to do really outside. And then ultimately they become trail users. From trail users, again, that kind of love for these spaces continues to grow. So they become supporters. And what does that mean? That could be something as simple as, again, following us on social media or signing up for our emails. From trail supporter, hopefully go to advocate. And that's somebody who really is helping us to move forward what our mission is in the way of maybe writing to their legislators, letting them know that they want a project in their hometown to be advanced. They want to see a trail built near them, what have you. That could also be at the national level, or that could simply be, helping us to get the word out about a certain campaign, about something related to policy or anything else. And from advocate to brand ambassador, I'd say a lot of folks on this call are brand ambassadors. You're our trail heroes, really, our champions of really just promoting what RTC is all about, promoting, making sure that people across the country have access to trails and that more and more trails are being created and connected nationwide. So through all of these things, we really start with engagement, having that opportunity to interact with something or someone. To celebrate Trails Day is really an opportunity for us to engage with the entire country. It's a time where somebody who isn't a trail user already, or somebody, again, who is doing this every day, who's like Jorge and bikes way more than I could ever do in a lifetime on a regular basis. This is for everybody. And it's really about lowering the barriers and making it as easy as possible for people to get involved. That's a really big focus of ours to celebrate Trails Day. And I wanted to pull out something from a survey we did on behalf of the Circuit Trails Coalition, which some of you may know, but it's one of our Trail Nation projects. It's a developing 800 plus mile trail network in the greater Philadelphia region. And that survey says fewer than 2/3 of residents located within our 4 state areas, so this is again restricted to that region, were aware that there is a trail close to where they live. That's something that we want to help address as an organization. We want more people to know about the trails that are in their own backyard, whether it's down the street or if they want to consider their backyard the entire country. And Celebrate Trails Day helps do that.
To speak to that point, when I saw this morning, when I would read through these slides, I used to fundraise for a youth program, a youth cycling program. And the kids would use the local trail, the Schuylkill River Trail, and some of the trails in their local park system. And some of them had no clue that the trails were really within like a mile or two of their house, just because they were living in like a super urban situation. They just had no idea that this was there. That always, like when I see comments like that, it always blows my mind, because some people, they just don't know.
Yeah. And it's something that we really want to improve. We want to make sure people know about these places. And the question of how to do that really comes up. And there are a lot of different ways that can be done. But one of which, or I guess 2 of which, would be programming. So those on-trail activities, having things going on and inviting members of the community, letting those kids that Jorge was just talking about, like, hey, we're doing a bike race or a bike tag or something like that. Just letting them know that there are things there for them that are taking place and that they're invited, but also outreach. So outreach can be emails, it can be door to door, just walking up saying, hey, did you know that there's a trail in your backyard? It can be flyers, it can be social media. And again, I bring up social media because it's a really easy way to connect with people and meet a lot of them where they are. I doubt anybody knows at least, or one person who isn't somehow connected to social media at this point. So there are a myriad of ways to conduct that outreach, but we're trying to use all the tools in our tool belt to help people know about these places and to get outside and enjoy them and know that they are part of their community. They're something for them that they can get out and enjoy. And with our goal for Celebrate Trails Day, it's really about encouraging people to be active and just get outside. And by doing that, or in order for us to really show the impact, we're going to amplify the participation to demonstrate what these spaces mean for people. So ultimately, we can help raise support for them, whether that's, courting funding for maintenance on the policy level, or, it's just helping to ultimately get goodwill on behalf of the community to get more trails built later down the line. And so this celebration has some pretty fun roots. It used to be called Opening Day for Trails. For those of you who have been connected with RTC for a while, you might recognize that. It used to be the fourth Saturday of March, if you can believe it. So even more variable spring weather. Now it takes place the fourth Saturday of April. So maybe a little bit warmer depending on where you are, but it's been true to its roots since the celebration started in 2013. The simple ambition, and this is taken directly from some older materials. I was not around in 2013, but I think this sums it up beautifully and still aligns perfectly with our goal to encourage people to get out and use their local trail and to celebrate the moment. And if you're curious, this is one of the graphics from back then, but this is actually a compilation video from Celebrate Trails Day. I think it was 2014. I think Jorge might share that link with you, but you can also check it out on our YouTube page if you would like that throwback. Maybe you were a part of the celebration and you shared a photo. But really, it's true to its roots. We've been celebrating America's trails every spring since 2013 and inviting people, participants, and partners, which I'll talk a little bit more about since it started. So the evolution, I mentioned it was called Opening Day for Trails. This is, I think, taken from the first one in 2013. We started tracking more aspects of Celebrate Trails Day really in 2015. And part of that would be the events. One major way we get people out to celebrate trails, again, goes back to that programming, having those things for people to do. That usually looks like an event that one of our trail partners is organizing. And by trail partner, I really mean the friends of the whatever trail that or some local municipality, but also we work with some larger sponsors too, some national sponsors who really help us promote the celebration and get the word out. But at the end of the day, most of them are these smaller trail organizations or state-run trail organizations, trail and park, who put on a really fun day for folks on one of the local trails and invite them all to get outside. So we've done fun things like here's Philly right here. This is a bike ride. We've had trail openings, and I did want to highlight right here that this is 2015, again, 2 years after it really kicked off, there were 32 of those unique partner events, those trail partner events. 2019, when it was still called Opening Day for Trails, we had 90 partner events, just to show the growth and the evolution of what the celebration has really looked like. Then 2020 hit. It was a challenging time for everybody, and it really, with Celebrate Trails Day, or it soon became Celebrate Trails at Home, from opening day, taking part in spring, we had to pivot. We had to really rethink how we can still encourage people to appreciate and love their trails, but to do so mindfully as we were all navigating COVID-19 and the pandemic. And for us, that really was about, it turned into a virtual celebration. We still encourage people to get outside. The time is one of the safest things we could all do. So we encourage them to do that, but we also ask them to join us for a moment of recognition for trails, to really appreciate these spaces as we were using them like never before. And for all of those partners, again, the trail managers, the people who are out maintaining them and volunteering to do that, just to share some gratitude for all of that work and all the people and all those places that were giving us some solace and some joy during a really difficult time.
Can I interject for a second and just give some, I guess this is a not virtual applause, but to the comms team for that time in 2020 when that pivot happened, because I think we closed the office March 15th or March 13th of 2020. So it was like right before the big plan. So kudos to pulling it off and making that shift.
Yeah, and thank you, Jorge. And that couldn't have been possible without the entire Rails to Trails Conservancy team, but also all of the partners we've been engaging with for Celebrate Trails Day, and all the participants too. I think it really is, it's a nod to all of them for still wanting to celebrate these places when there was a lot going on. And I know that everyone talks about Zoom fatigue, but and there was a time of Zoom fatigue, but still wanting to get on and just give a round of applause and say thank you for these spaces. So after our all virtual celebration in 2021, we were really excited to continue on this focus really of realizing and recognizing that trails were so much to people. They meant so much at that time, and they still do, and they always have, but really just that space to get outside, to unwind. I know, Jorge, you've talked about having some space to get outside with your kiddos. It's an important, they're important for people. And in 2021, we continue to really push making this as inclusive as possible. So events are really fabulous. It's a great way to connect, but we understand that events don't happen everywhere, or that people couldn't get to events even during years before 2020. So in 2021, we really pushed a focus towards gathering resources to help people experience trails near them, whether that's like how to go birding 101 and tips for tuning up your bike if you're like me and you haven't tuned up your bike in 10 years or so, you don't know the first thing about it. So just really helping people get outside, also promoting finding trails, because again, a lot of people might not know about the trails that are close to home. I think the pandemic helped us find these hidden gems in our neighborhood as a silver lining, really. And TrailLink was super helpful for helping people, or for allowing people to find those places close to home easily and for free. So 2021 was really about self-celebration, or solo or small group. And then 2022, this year, which I'll talk a little bit more about, we're continuing to try to make it as inclusive as possible by providing those great resources to help people experience trails wherever they are. But we're also really excited and jazzed to bring back our events and to work with our partners across the country to hold those events. And we're still a couple weeks out from Celebrate Trails Day this year, but so far we already have about 115 unique partner events. So it's coming a long way since I think it was 35 in 2015, and we're really excited about that. So a little bit about the impact of Celebrate Trails Day before we really start digging into 2022. Since 2013, we've had participation in all of the states. Actually, this year we're seeing it in every state. I'm excited for that update. Every state, including Washington, D.C., tens of thousands of people have let us know that they've participated, gotten outside to celebrate trails. We've worked with hundreds of partners to hold hundreds of events over the years, including those 2 years when we weren't really having events. So it's exciting that we had so many take place before, and that we have so many happening this year as well. In 2021, we reached a ton of people through a lot of ways. I won't read all of this off, but we had a lot of pieces go out, distributed across the media. Our Celebrate Trails Day website, 35,000 people visited in 2021. Our hashtag for Celebrate Trails Day, which I hope you all use it, is just hashtag Celebrate Trails if you're on social media. On Twitter alone, it had 1 million impressions. So that's the number of people who saw that hashtag and engage with it. And then we also did something a little bit different last year. Celebrate Trails Day really does have roots in health, actually. And that's continued to be a theme that we've brought forth over the years. But we really want to try to put some numbers to that impact. So we had a survey last year. We're continuing it this year to really get at that impact. And that includes time being physically active outside. Again, we know that being physically active outside is really good for you at any time. It can lower blood pressure. It just makes you happy. It's good to breathe fresh air, to be outside, especially when we're spending so much time on the computer. So last year, we were really excited that nearly 140,000 minutes were spent active outside. And I can't remember the exact statistic, but a majority of the people who took that survey spent more than 30 minutes outside, which is really great because that aligns with the physical activity health goals that everybody should be trying to reach. So Celebrate Trails Day helped move the dial in a whole lot of ways, but it also, we think, help make people happier and healthier. So I've talked about this a little bit, but again, trails are super important, and they have been for always, but especially the last 2 years, we know that people have really turned to them like never before. This is all about just the use of trails and how it's gone up, and how people have really expressed just how important they were and what type of wellness benefits that they've brought to people. And again, that could be as simple as sitting outside on a park bench by your local trail, or trying to run your first marathon, what have you. They've been really important for people. And again, that's kind of what's led to us to change the name to Celebrate Trails, and to try to get more at the impact of why the celebration is so important, and to try to get more and more people involved. In addition to the numbers, we've been collecting stories too about trails and why they're important to people. And we call that Trail Moments. Celebrate Trails Day is a really great way for us to encourage people to spend those moments getting outside, to share their stories, their experience, because as important as it is to know about the trails, it's also important to kind of hear that other people who look and are from your community are also getting outside to enjoy those spaces and use them and feel welcome. And it all kind of just leads to getting more people invested and supportive of trails. And so Trail Moments has really been a way for us to do that. And Celebrate Trails Day has helped continue that thread, so that people feel empowered to share their stories, or they feel like they want to share their stories because they're excited about what they did. They're excited about their local trail, and they want to shout it from the top of the roof. They want everybody to know about it. So with that, this year, I'll talk a little bit more about what we've got cooking. Just to flag, it is the fourth Saturday of every April. It is the 23rd this year, which is very close to Earth Day. I think it's also National Park Week. So there's a lot of really great alignments and reasons to get outside. I already talked a little bit about what's happening this year. We're encouraging those DIY adventures, do-it-yourself adventures, by providing those resources and materials to help people do that. But we also have events. This year, as with the last 2 years, we'll continue to encourage people to focus on health, wellness, and safety, and to recreate responsibly. That is, being polite to the outdoors is how I like to think about it, and to everybody else who's using those spaces. And talking a little bit more about the events, and really trying to broaden the resources that we make available in the types of events, so that we're having a lot of really inclusive experiences. And that could look like a lot of different things. Not everybody's a bicyclist. Some people want to go check out art along the trail, and we're really excited that we have a partner who's doing just that. They're having an art fair along the trail. So there's a lot of ways to access these spaces and to use them to enjoy that programming.
Just for the record, I'm not going to be biking for Celebrate Trails this year. I'm actually going to be most likely giving out ice cream cones on a trailhead. So just so you know, I'm switching things up this year.
I love it. Yeah, everybody go to the event Jorge is going to be going to, so you can get an ice cream and hang out with him. I'll talk a little bit more about the other opportunities to hang out with RTC staff for Celebrate Trails Day. But ice cream, what ice cream and hanging out with Jorge, what other draw do you need there?
Yeah.
So Jorge is actually going to be attending an event that we're working on with some of our wonderful trail partners. And I did want to share a little bit more about how we're helping our partners be a part of this celebration, because it's not always easy to plan events. There's a lot of things going on at any point in time. We want to make it as easy as possible for our partners to get excited about the celebration, and make it as easy as possible for them to be a part of it. So far, again, we're still a few weeks out. We have about 155 unique partners, it's grown significantly since we really started, and since we started tracking things. One way we try to make this easy is by having a toolkit of really all the things surrounding Celebrate Trails Day. It's available through our website. This is the one-stop shop for all things Celebrate Trails Day. But through that site, we offer promotional materials, that's email templates, that's fun graphics that people can use. We've also made available print at home selfie stations so people can hold them up and take photos. We're also offering some other fun on trail materials that we're going to be sending out to our partners soon, like temporary yard signs and whatnot, to just let their communities know in advance that Celebrate Trails Day is coming up, and that they are encouraged to get outside and enjoy them get outside and join them on April 23rd. And then we also use our communications tools and what we have available to get the word out, not only about Celebrate Trails Day as a whole, but all the great things that our partners are doing. Because again, we want people to feel like they are not only connecting with their local trails, but also the people who are behind them. Grow that sense of support and stewardship. So with that, on to the really fun part. How can you participate? Got a couple ways. As I mentioned, we are bringing together a list of great resources that you can use to really design your own trail adventure for the day. You know, whether it's eating ice cream after a bike ride and hanging out with Jorge or what have you. Maybe it's doing backyard bird bingo. There are tons of ways to get involved, and we're trying to collect all of those great resources on our website. Some of our partners have contributed to those resources too, again, so we can really broaden the robustness of what is available, what people can access to design what they want to do. And this year, I'm also really excited to share that we're making available some of these resources in Spanish. So again, just further allowing more and more people to really access these great tips, resources, so that they can feel, or so that they can get engaged and be a part of the celebration. So events, a lot of things are happening. Here's just a couple of examples of what's happened in the past. People will do rides. We've done ribbon cuttings and ground openings for trails, which is really exciting. So trails that have a new section that's been completed or a new section that's opening up. Some people, some partners will use Celebrate Trails Day as a way to highlight a project that is maybe still 5 years, 10 years down the line, but that is moving forward. It's a way to really rally support for these spaces at whatever stage they are at. There are a lot of folks do cleanups or some type of volunteer event, which is really exciting. This is a really fun kind of in-person and virtual one. This is a scavenger hunt. Again, I try to make this a little Philly centric because Jorge's here. So this is a really neat one.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, by one of our Philadelphia partners. And then, you know, this is our Pals and Girl Track. They really just highlighted that there are more than 40,000 miles of multi-use trails across the country. And we hope that everybody gets outside to enjoy them, however they want to enjoy them. I mentioned that we have a couple of events with RTC staff. I'll show you all a little bit more about those in the next moment or so. But if you are interested in joining them, please reach out to Jorge. He's your point of contact who can help direct you to more information about those events so you can come out and enjoy it, hanging out with us on the day and being outside on the trail. So with that, bear with me. I'm going to go over to our web page so you can check out that website I was just talking about. All right, Jorge, is this working? Can you see my screen?
No, I think you have to hit the other tab. I think it's the tab in your browser that.
Yep, I think you're good. Can you see it now?
Yep, good to go.
Perfect, thank you. So as I was mentioning, our Celebrate Trails Day website, our web section of our website is really everything you'll need to know. We're asking that folks let us know if they're going to participate, again, so we can help show the impact of the celebration, but also it enters them for a chance to win great prizes thanks to our wonderful supporters and sponsors this year. And here are some of the events that RTC will have staff at this year. We've got another, I think, 3 or 4 that we'll be sharing soon. So we've got one in California, Columbus, Ohio, which I think, Jorge, that's where you'll be. Merchant, that's correct. All right. Merchantville, New Jersey. We've got one in Florida. We have one in Pennsylvania. We have one in the DC area that we invite folks to attend. It's going to be a cleanup. So we have a couple of more that are coming up. Again, just let Jorge know if you'd like to join those. And I know we're short on time, so I'll just show you all this quick map here. So thanks to our wonderful GIS team, Derek Strout in particular, we have pretty much visualized participation this year. Not only have we visualized participation, and that's trail users, but also partners. This is what we're using to let people know about events near them. So you can go ahead and you can either search your address here, or you can check out events here and filter by your state, or you can simply click one of these fun green hearts or golden hearts to see, oh, look, Clean Air Council, one of our great partners again in the Philadelphia area. And you can learn more about them and discover what events they're having on the day. Right here, click that, that'll go directly to your event. to their event so you can learn more about what they've got going on. So we've got a lot of really fun tools that we've made available this year to help everybody take part and celebrate Trails Day. And with that, I think we're pretty much at the recap part of today. To go over just really quickly everything I talked about, because I know I touched on a lot. And it's Celebrate Trails Day. It's Saturday, April 23rd. It's always the fourth Saturday of April from now on, although it used to be earlier in the year. It was started in 2013, and our goal has always been really to get people outside on trails and to grow an appreciation for those spaces. So it really is a moment for us to help engage people across the country, whether they're new to trails or they've been using trails for a long time, connect with our wonderful partners as well, and to help highlight them and all the fantastic work that they're doing, including our, our Trail Nation work too, those regional trail networks across the country, like the Circuit Trails in the Philly area, and as well as the Great American Rail Trail. RTC will be showing more or collecting information so we can really demonstrate the impact of the celebration. We'll be sharing those results later, such as time spent outside and how people feel after using trails. And we hope that you will all join us in being a part of this fun celebration by getting outside, taking part in the party, whether that's by attending an event or planning your own fun adventure. And you can use all the great resources on our website to really figure out what you would like to do and to engage in that celebration. And if you are on social media, we hope that you will help spread the word using #CelebrateTrails. Again, to inspire other people to join you in celebrating and loving trails. So I think that's
Suzanne.
it for me. Yeah.
Well, if anyone has any questions that they want to pop into the chat, please do so now. And I guess, Suzanne, I'm just kind of curious about what your favorite opening day / Celebrate Trails Day moment has been so far in your, I guess, going on 6 years working at RTC?
Yeah, it's been a few years. So I have a kind of corny answer. I actually have two corny answers.
Let's hear it.
I would say that in general, one of my favorite parts about Celebrate Trails Day, again, because I'm on the social media side, is seeing just the amount of participation that happens on the day, getting to see how many people are out, sharing a photo of what they're doing on the day, our partners sharing what they're having their communities, their followers do on the day. And it really, it's a broad spectrum of fun activities, again, from art, festivals, to scavenger hunts, to bike rides. And it's just a very positive moment to be a part of. And just, I love that it ripples across the country and creates this level of excitement and devotion for trails. And then I think personally, another kind of favorite time of mine was we held a fun run and I was leading the course around, and I love to go inline skating. So I actually got to put on my inline skates and help lead the runners. Although I will say some of them were very fast and were about to catch up to me on skates even. But it was fun for me to be able to get my skates on and take part.
Great. Well, see, I don't believe anyone's popped in any questions. So going once, going twice. Thanks again, Suzanne. I appreciate it. I know that you're busy this time of year getting ready. And if anyone has any questions after, you can email me, Jorge@railstotrails.org. But thanks again, and we'll talk soon. Take care.
Thanks, Jorge, and thanks everybody for joining. I hope to see you on the trails on April 23rd.
Take care.